It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off, Bell's Hells, after finishing their excursion to meet up with the Gorgine, to aid Chetney in dealing with this strange new tethered, ruidus, odd lycanthrope incursion, took on elements of the bestial spirit that existed within the temple, went through the trial, and in doing so walked away with a little bit of inspiration to move forward with this curse that he bears. All of you then absconded back to the skyship that awaited you, and headed off to the City of Flowing Light, Eos itself. Upon arrival in the evening there in the Skyport and Lounge, you...
And casino.
You played some games of chance. You made some coin, you lost some coin, you gathered a little bit of information about the surroundings, and essentially prepared yourselves for the following day. You booked a room for the night, and met an individual named Landon, who is eager to show you around the city for a bit, for a little bit of coin. And met you first thing in the morning as you made your way to the bottom part of the tower, and then began your first day out amongst the city here in the middle of the lake. You managed to eyeball a few interesting locations as you headed towards the northern ward of the city, the ring that contained your destination for the morning, the Edinland Seminary. You eventually found amongst the statues of various historical figures who founded and maintained the city of Eos since its first construction to the grounds of the seminary itself. The high walls and gardened elements, the freestanding archways, and the visage of the massive buildings that form the actual seminary halls. Upon approaching the tall climbing stairs and leaving your companion Landon behind to possibly go about his business and maybe come back around if you need more help wandering through the city, you began to ascend the stairs before FCG heard a familiar sound.
Oh no.
And saw a familiar sight.
He's found me. I don't know how, but he's found me.
Just as you look up and see this kind of gnarled-looking bird-like creature with a long, nasty-looking hooked bill, clouded eyes, patches of missing feathers, these long, oily wings that themselves are turned in awkward directions and patterns and ways as it screeches down from the top before it dives off the top of the building towards you, FCG. And with that...
What? And with that? Good gravy!
You watch, yes, as a massive payload of greenish, somewhat yellowed liquid scatters across the top of FCG's head and shoulders, kind of smattering with a faint bit of a misty blowback to those in the immediate vicinity. But as the bird picks up to circle back around, you all kind of glance back and see just this slow drizzle down the face of your metallic companion.
Is there any damage?
You take 1 point of poison damage. It's arcing around. What are you all doing?
What is this bird?
It's a specter of my nightmares. It follows me. It haunts me. It knows what I've done.
Oh, God. I'm not fling my dress over you.
So you go ahead and wrap around as it swoops down.
Hardcore. I'm gonna cast Inflict Wounds when it gets within range.
Kill it!
I'm gonna, Orm's gonna push Fern and FCG back and use bait and switch to get in front of them.
As it comes close, I'll use speak with small beasts to communicate a simple idea with smaller beasts.
Oh, that's great.
Why are you shitting on our friends?
It screeches down as you spin around and then concentrate this kind of somewhat ethereal burst of darkened purple energy bursts out towards it. As it strikes it, you watch as the energy kind of tears across its wings. Feathers go scattering off of it as it kind of manages to lose its cohesion of a flight for just a moment. But it begins to swoop down right towards the direction of where you and Fern are guarding, and you shout out this phrase. It seems focused and not paying attention at the moment.
I'm gonna wait till it's as close as possible, and I'm gonna use grasping vines on it.
Okay. So as you swing the sword and the tethered long reaching vine kind of whips out in its direction, it dips right below it and curls up around as its wings are pulling up and it's rearing its rear end for another attack.
Fern, it's gonna get you! It's gonna get you!
It's just a bird.
That's what you think, but it's more than that.
All right. All right.
It's every...
I'm gonna ice knife.
You launch out the ice knife as it ends up diving up underneath Orm's vine and is swinging in your direction. It freezes in the middle of the air and just drops before hitting the ground. The ice that encased it shatters and just its body limply down the stairs until it stops just past your ankle and just is limp, lifeless on the step next to you.
It just killed it.
I don't think it is! That's okay, I'll lift up the skirt and sort of peek around.
It is thoroughly broken. Jagged shards of ice are quickly melting from within the wounds that it has pierced its body with. Its cloudy eyes are kind of half rolled back, and its body is still across the steps about 5-10 feet down from where Fern is.
Chetney's flying through the air.
Yeah, standing over with the chisel at the ready.
Okay, I'll go over and I'll cast Speak with Animals and say, Are you all alive? Are you okay? Are you alive? Nothing. I have to know what.
You gotta wake it up.
All right. First I'll just
Oh,
cast,
are we gonna inflict torture? Or are you gonna heal it and kill it and
spare
heal
the
it and
dying
kill it
real
again?
quick.
Okay. One of its talons kind of picks up, and its head kind of
You see? You see? You see?
it looks over towards you with its larger, bulging, cloudy eye, and looking at the way it moves, the way it's shifting, there's an undead energy to it.
How do you know this undead bird?
It's been following me for my entire existence. Hold it down! Hold it down!
Yeah, I got it.
Oh no!
It's and it's trying to fly its way out. You just grab its legs, pull it back down, and kind of wrestle and hold it. And it's definitely has kind of a slickness to its body, like a slight residue that's kind of greasy and smearing onto your body as you hold it.
Well, what do you want with me? Who are you? Who sent you? What do you know about me?
As its eyes are being held by Chetney from behind, and kind of, and you hear kind of through the filter of arcane information coming to your ears, the voice kind of crackles through this horrible guttural, almost like smoking cigarettes every day for 30 years, kind of. I don't know, there's just something about you I have to ruin.
What? Do you know my past? Do you know? Are you?
I just don't like the way you look.
What? You're not penance for my?
Sure, whatever you want me to be. You're just a good talker.
Well, how can I get you to leave me alone?
You can't. If I'm here forever, I'm making myself everyone else's problem.
Hey, but what were you even talking about?
I know.
As you're saying this, it muscles its way out of Chetney's grasp and begins to take up into the sky.
Grasping vine again.
Rest in peace, your throat.
Yeah, what you looking for?
We're dealing with a bird who kind of seems like he's a little bit like us. Honestly, he's kind of cute. I kind of like him.
golden friend, it's great. I'm so excited.
Anyway, he keeps bothering FCG, so maybe why don't you go talk to him?
Okay. A little too slow, unfortunately. Shithead can fly a little faster. But you do watch as he's hey you, hey, come on back. We're just supposed to be friends. Don't shit on ours. And the bird just kind of begins to take off. Pate just keeps following.
Hex.
All right. So you watch as elements of the nearby shadow of the rising towers of the seminary as it begins to try and fly off in this off-kilter, partially broken and slowly mending pattern to its wings. The shadows stick to it, almost like they're firing ink from the far corners where the light isn't quite reaching. And as it sticks to the bird, the hex takes form. And you sense within your consciousness, Laudna, you can just feel where it is. no matter where it goes. As it leaves your visual range and the bird flies off, a little sign of little pate, this like nightmarish fairy-like creature, just kind of keeping off there going, why?
Why don't you tell us what you know? You just said that thing was following you for your whole existence. Your new existence or your existence?
As long as I've been around, I've known it, and it's known me, and it's been following me. It's not always there, but it always seems to find me again wherever I go, no matter what I'm doing. And it desecrates me.
It shits on you.
It shits on my head.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was just a pesky bird that thought my head wires were some sort of a nest. But now I realize that I think it's like an albatross. Like it's my guilt for things I've done in the past. And it's haunting me. Like it knows what I've done. I don't even know what I've done, but it knows what I've done.
So what does it look like? Like a eagle, vulture, buzzard?
It looks like it was probably more of a scavenger bird than like a bird of prey.
Okay.
At least at some point. But it has seen some rough times, and in doing so, it's hard to really specifically pinpoint what it is.
The first few times I saw it, it was just sort of perched up on, an eave or an overhang.
Where?
Where?
In Dressar?
Yes, in Dressar, and then, me and the division used to go on, adventures and stuff, and we would go out of town sometimes, and I would sometimes see what I thought it was, like its silhouette up in the trees of the forest or amid the rocks if we were going through caves. And it was always just sort of there watching, and then it got bolder and bolder and started swooping down, and...
My God, that's way...
Oh my God, Ashton. Ashton's gone.
You look around, and Ashton is gone.
Oh! Wait, but really though, the bird didn't carry off Ashton, did it?
I would
We
be
see it
impressive
carry off
strength.
Ashton.
No, it's not big enough to carry off Ashton.
Anything's possible in this
I
fucking
know.
world.
Pate slowly returns from the mission.
Did you talk to him?
I couldn't quite catch up, I'm really sorry.
It's
too
all right.
fast, but look like a nice fellow, a lot to hang out. So am I.
Should we message Ashton? Figure out where they went?
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, then I'll send an actual sending.
Okay.
Ashton? Where'd you go?
Hey, don't worry about it. Following a thing. I'll catch up with you later.
Oh my God, that's so
Makes me
tough.
so mad. He's following a thing. He'll catch up with us.
Okay.
Maybe he's following Shithead.
Like, maybe we need to figure out what he wants with you.
Yeah, I know.
And figure out why he's undead. Why he's living.
Well, we're in Eos where I have been told that there's lots of answers about lots of things. Your mother, probably more important than this, and all sorts of us have
It's
answers
just my mother.
here.
You've got a bird that poops on you sometimes.
Well, let's stop procrastinating and get to it. Orm will start up.
Alrighty. So the six of you ascend to the top, where you can see the sentries kind of acknowledge your arrival, but aren't, particularly taken aback by it. And you get the sense, most of the student body here seems to be from at least people you've walked by and encountered from all over Exandria, though there is still a majority orc populace here in the city, orc or half orc or Unia. Entering through the front doorway, you can see with inside already there's the tall ceiling of the continued white marble aesthetic. You can see there are 3 different hallways that spread past the central clerk desks that you see here. But here in the center you do see these 2 rectangular discs that command the entryway hall, each manned by a clerk. And the first one you see here, who's not currently engaged, appears to be a young human woman in her 40s or so, pale with like a short blonde bob cut almost, and a pin that looks like a green-blue leaf, which is the same kind of symbol that you've seen variations of around the seminary as a kind of a crest of its aesthetic. But immediately she perks up and glances over at the rest of you. Hello, welcome. Can I help you?
Oh, yeah, excuse me. We're looking for, Ebenold Kai.
Unfortunately, he's cancelled his classes a couple of months ago and hasn't been seen in the seminary for some time. I do know that the headmaster is rather unhappy with his recent disrespect for the seminary's calendar and likely threatening a replacement if he doesn't show up soon.
So y'all haven't heard from him at all?
No, he's likely holed up in his home or off on some excursion.
Do you know where he lives?
He does live, if I recall, in the Vigil Quarter of the Dominion Ring. Not sure where specifically, but...
And what's your name again, ma'am?
Oh, Carol.
Carol. Is Professor Kadisha Sumal still working here?
Oh, yes, Professor Sumal is not scheduled for lectures at the moment. It's been more focused on research.
Right.
I believe they are supposed to be back tomorrow for a meeting around noon, so you could always try back right before then and see if you could catch them.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Do you need a new professor to fill Ebenold's position?
If you have credentials you'd like to submit, I could certainly take them to the headmaster.
Okay. What are all the full credentials that you need? Because I just want to make sure.
Well, it would be more of an assessment of what your background is, your years of teaching knowledge, your specifics
yes.
of training and study. What's your speciality?
Boy, you name it. Just, I'm kind of just like a jack of all trades. Kind of whatever you need, just fit right in. Mostly, lots of stuff with like fire.
Right. Okay.
But there's lots of things I can do. I've learned really quickly, but I also I'm very. I've written some things. I've written some papers and pamphlets, and I'll make sure to just put together like a whole thing for you to later.
Yes, please do. I would love to see it.
Okay.
You're the first to pick up on this one. The conversations, the whispers in the halls, the kind of just general kind of gentle, lively energy of the halls here seems to fade. Stepping from the far left hall, you see a hulking figure step into the main area here in the seminary entryway. You see what looks to be this being vaguely human, somewhat messy red hair and pale skin. They're wearing an elaborate, loose, sleeveless vestments that drape around them, like long robes with strips of kind of gold embossed material, sleeveless, revealing these massive hammer-like muscular arms that are covered in intricate tattoos and adorned in platinum bracers that have all manner of glyphs carved across them that devour about half of the forearm. Their face is covered in a bronze mask, like a dark bronze that lacks eyes or features. Instead, you see a patterned array of fine script and symbols across it. It just kind of steps into the room. As it does, both the clerks just get quiet and stand there, kind of not making eye contact in that direction.
I'm gonna do a detect thoughts on
Oh, I was just.
Your surface thoughts that you begin to just glean from Carol is, I wish these things would leave. Every time they come by, it makes me nervous. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
In her head, she hears, "Who is that?" Carol, over here. Right here. That's right. Who is that in the mask?
I don't rightly know. They're here along with a representative from Vasselheim. Oh. As soon as this entity steps out, you recognize the patterns on the mask and the descriptor. This is a Judicator.
A what?
Judicator.
Originating with the early wars of the Calamity, a rigorous and transformative series of challenging rituals and secret divine blessings forever bind and change the most pious of warriors into exalted soldiers and bloodhounds for the gods. It is rumored that they volunteer themselves, giving everything to the cause, their individuality, their lives, to become a weapon for the prime deities. Outside of times of war, Judicators primarily act as bodyguards to the high clerics, protectors of the most holy of relics, and sometimes wardens in the deepest of Vasselheim's prisons. But seeing one in public, and this far from Vasselheim, means they're also likely not alone. That's something extremely important to the higher temples has brought them here.
Looking for the stolen texts.
It's about this moment that it kind of finishes its scan of the room and then exits out the main entryway and begins to descend the stairs outside. And as it does, you kind of glance past and kind of watch as it exits. The guards, the actual sentries of the city, kind of move to the side as it moves past. Well, I have to get back to my business. Once again, return tomorrow if you like.
You don't have any, address or whatever for Emerald Kai?
I'm not of the mind of giving out the home addresses of various professors to strangers who often request it.
No, you know what? We are.
That was
and
a
I
test.
was testing you,
Yeah.
yes?
One more question, just real quick, just because, in case we do want to enroll, is there a program here or a department or a professor who's particularly into mechanical doodads and whatsits and engineering sorts of things, building?
There is, yeah. There is a program specifically based around the development and advancement of automations. And
Who runs it, or which building is it, or?
for the purposes of my position and maintaining it, I do not believe I can relinquish any more information.
Sure.
Programs here.
I
My
understand.
apologies.
We're not friends, but we could be, and I'll cast fast friends on them.
Oh, yes, let's go. Getting dirty with it.
Oh, how can I say no to that face? It's not often that you have someone of such metallic aesthetic talking to you. You'll want to speak with Professor Vitro Ishan.
Vitro Ishan?
Yes, is the head of all of the automaton studies development, and as well as one of the sub-professors for the binding of various enchantments into stationary, non-magical objects and artificing.
They can be found in their office here or elsewhere?
Not supposed to tell you this.
No, I know, but it's nice to be naughty sometimes.
Leftward Hall here, about 150 feet down there. There is a spiral staircase that leads to a secondary floor on the left.
Oh my goodness.
Heard
So,
such
like,
great directions like that.
Yeah.
I could hear you give directions all day. In fact, maybe you should give us directions to the other guy's house, right? Evan Kai's house too.
I could just show you. I'm due for a lunch break, and I'm just feeling very helpful.
Yes, let's go take a walkabout.
Wonderful.
A rollabout.
Let me just get my jacket. And she wanders off and goes to the other clerk and goes, Susie, if you can go ahead and have Albanon cover for me. I'm taking my lunch break with these fine friends. Eventually she comes back. This nice little jacket on. It's like a dark blue with kind of turquoise, almost like embroidery along the sleeves. Very well, follow me.
What a beautiful blazer.
Thank you so much. She goes ahead and walks down the steps and begins to guide you through the more prominent elements here of the ring.
We're gonna have to kill this girl?
We just gotta get as much information out of her as possible.
And then maybe we're not gonna murder a random clerk.
We might have to.
The trick is, you have to really, really actually befriend her. That way, when it wears out, she still likes you so much.
Let's ask her what her favorite baked goods are and her favorite color and her favorite flowers, so we can Carol.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are some of your favorite things in life?
Well, I've been keeping a small, flower box garden on the outside of my abode.
Love Fern loves
Oh my
flowers.
goodness.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
And how long have you been working at the seminary?
About 5 or 6 years or so. It's not terribly challenging work, but it has some nice benefits. You get to meet some interesting individuals and occasionally get to have an outing with a new friend.
That's us.
Do you like working there?
I do, actually.
Yeah?
I do. More than anything, just seeing the new students come every year and watching them progress and get involved in their own particular dramas and the whispers that come through.
Do you have plans to expand, move a little further there, or are you loving where you're at?
I've been scrimping and saving as time has gone on, but I've also been kind of turning around some small knickknacks as I've been finding them, cleaning them up and selling them on the side back to some of the various shops around here, making a little bit of extra scratch. And I figure once I have enough saved up, I might just get a little boat and maybe meet a nice little fisherman.
What kind of knickknacks do you make?
I know. Have you ever taken any from the school?
No.
You have?
Nobody was making any use of it, and nobody missed it. And I figured I was bringing it to a proper home where it could be appreciated.
Oh, spill it, girl, spill it. What was it?
I won't say who I nicked it from, but there was this really nice bronze lion statue with emerald eyes that was used as a paperweight for quite some time by Professor Dinon, and when he asked for his room to be cleaned, I just set it aside for a few months to see if it would be asked about, in which case I would return it. But after about 8 months of nobody noticing it gone, I cleaned it up a bit and made a nice little chunk of change.
Wow.
Oh, and here we are at the Vigil Quarter, which is where he supposedly lives. What you do see here is a dual-tiered neighborhood. There is a large metallic gate with like swirling bits of metal bars that kind of like bind and swirl around it. So they give it like a cool visual aesthetic. She goes, I do believe he's in the lower neighborhood here. Follow me. And continues to walk you within. The sentries kind of glance over and just kind of take note of you all as you enter the neighborhood. Okay. You do come to this medium-sized 2-story cottage of black and gray marbled wood that seems to have been gathered from the jungle not far from where you are. It looks like it's a somewhat affluent-looking building, but nowhere near on the scale of some of the larger estates that you've passed by as you get here. This is the address. I hope this has been helpful.
It's been wonderful. Thank you, Carl.
I should probably get back to my...
Yes, of course.
It's almost the end of my hour-long break,
And
so
it's
I'm gonna
at
go
the
ahead.
end of an hour, so I just want you to remember, Carol, that we've exchanged so many words with each other today.
Very
Please
well.
remember them.
You also said this is your lunch break, so I mean, the least we could do is buy you lunch here. And I pull out like a little kerchief with a couple of coins in it and say, here's some silver, lunch is on us. And I hand her 5 platinum wrapped in a kerchief.
Oh, thank you so much. You've been a delight.
As have you. Don't get to meet and hang out with new folks very often. Anyway, I'll back to work I go.
Hi, good friend.
So fun.
Just wanders off to the rest of her day.
Do we even bother knocking?
Are there any sort of like gutters or things that are running up the vertical side of this building?
Yeah, actually.
I'll just knock on the door and go, Lake Camp Skyport Lounge delivery. Anybody coming to the door?
About a minute goes by, no response.
The windows are locked. I don't want to break anything yet, so I'm gonna try and scutter up this little drain, see if I can get up on the roof.
We should just act like we're groundskeepers or something. I'm gonna start like
Great idea.
mowing the lawn with my wheel. All right, well,
She's
our
having such a good time.
work is done, I guess.
Come on.
Bagging up the
I'll go over and hop in the chimney and start
Find a
shuffling
park or
down.
something to grab
Okay.
some lunch in.
Hold on.
This chimney actually attaches to a fireplace that is within what looks to be the main bedroom upstairs. So as you kind of stumble out, you kind of step over the metallic hold with some charred wood that has been left there and unburned for quite some time. And on the inside, it's a quaint little sleeping space. There is a staircase that descends to the bottom floor. You smell the faintest smell of sweat.
He's here.
Oh, shit.
He's terrified.
You come down in this area, and this is the main kind of base entryway. You can see the front door that leads outward into the garden. You can see there is a taut cable that is kind of looped down in this thing and is pulled back up to the top of the ceiling.
I'm gonna move down into the bottom floor. I'm trying to actually get eyes on this person that's probably hiding somewhere in here.
No movement here in the entryway.
Oh, the window.
I'll go over to the window.
Hey, psst, come to the window.
Okay, all right. I'll climb in.
Okay.
Wait, but before you go, I thought I smelled odorous body odor. Sweat. I smelled perspiration.
Not your own.
I feel like somebody's in here, but I couldn't see them.
Okay.
I'll go last so I can help push Fern through.
Just so you know. Just so you know. I don't know if this is good to
I'll detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts?
There it
Yeah.
is.
You sense the presence of two minds beneath you.
Two.
And you're getting the sense that there are elements of this household that expect incursions. There's a painting hanging on the wall, and you kind of watch the texture of the stone that the wall is comprised of kind of just ever so faintly shift at a certain point. Almost like there's the seam where the stones are set, and one bit of the stone is a little bit further forward than the other. I mean, it's pretty thin. There's nothing. I mean, you can't get your fingers in there.
I'm gonna lift off the painting.
Okay. It's the
Anything?
wall.
I'm gonna push against the wall and see if it opens.
It does not
I'm
move.
gonna pull the seam.
Okay, you kind of pull the seam best you can. As you do, you see the base of the floor, where the wall and the floor hit. The wall seems to shift upward a little bit, and with a few of you helping, you can get underneath it.
Yes, I get
And it actually pulls up toward the ceiling. As you pull it up, there is a kind of roughly hewn staircase that descends and then curves around to the right into darkness below.
Orm, you go first.
Are you coming on my 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. I got one hand on your shoulder.
The stairs continue and curve to the right, and there's a small opening at the bottom of the stairs that leads into a basement-like chamber that is lightless.
Lightless.
As you step in, being as quiet as you think you can possibly be, a voice goes, something. No. And something, and you watch as a skull gets like tossed from far back in the chamber. It hits the ground and rolls kind of in front of both of you before it stops to look up at you, its jaw open, and its eyes brightly flash an incredibly white, searing light. At that point, the skull light seems to coalesce back inside its space as it just lies there motionless. As soon as that happens, a sense of fright comes over you. And as long as you are blinded, you are also considered frightened.
Everybody get down here!
I want to do this, Ebenold Kai. Please don't kill us. We've come a very long way from the Hardmore Hamlet. We were sent by Ro Istani.
We're coming down. By the way.
I'll turn on my eyes as light.
Yeah.
I have dark vision.
If I dancing lights it,
Okay. As your lights come in here and you finish this plea, you see as the table's impacted, one of them is currently like quickly reading from a scroll. They look like they have like a pair of goggles or glasses over there, and they're like reading as the other one. You see what looks to be a half-elven woman is in the process of reading the scroll. Wait, someone said my name.
Yes. Oh, hello. Hello. We're friends. Professor Kai.
Stop reading that thing.
The woman finishes reading, the scroll burns, and you can see suddenly this dark corner of the room, as you all bring your own light in, the far corner begins to alight in its own right. What you can see now is a large circle, about a 10-foot by 10-foot circle on the ground of various glyphs and symbols begins to brighten up.
are they gonna teleport?
And as it does, you can see the woman goes, now,
No.
and runs into the circle. She
I get it
vanishes. Ebenold goes, he runs into it and vanishes.
I go too.
All right, this is...
We got 6 seconds, right?
You got 6 seconds for everyone to follow behind. Are
Let's
you all
fucking
rushing
roll.
in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going that way. I'm not going that way.
I just yank him.
One by one. You all begin to emerge into a darkly lit, shaded cavern where there's some odd challenging to make out sources of firelight. The air, the temperature here is also uncomfortably, not quite unbearably hot, but uncomfortably hot. And immediately as you inhale, as you take in your surroundings, you can feel your lungs kind of fill with the hot air and sting for a moment. And you can see in the middle of this, what you assume is a subterranean chamber, there is a slow drifting channel of molten rock that just kind of lazily sits and moves through the center. The two other figures that were fleeing from you before are standing about 30 or 40 feet from you across the chamber. The half-elven woman is in the process of loading a heavy crossbow bolt into a large crossbow that she's picked off the wall. As the older male halfling is like, wait. You see sweat off his brow.
We have a letter from Roestani. For you.
Hold on. Kind of opens and takes the letter out. You all quietly sit in that stillness, that cross-stared, reactionary position as he slowly reads through the letter. Folds it up, wipes his forehead on his sleeve. All right. And the halfling kind of rolls the sleeves up a bit and steps forward. Well, I am Professor Ebenolkai, as you seem to be inquiring about. And kind of pulls a letter. If you are indeed truthful in this, we could use friends in these extremely quickly closing times.
Those Judicators in town, they were looking for y'all, weren't they?
I can only assume so, yes.
Were you the ones that took the...
I was not, but Dr. Bryn, and looks back to her, and she now steps forward and she sets the crossbow off to the side. Yes, I'm one of them. My name is Dr. Baron Vestisho. I am a doctor of Exandrian history out of Alfanzia, specializing in research on the founding and the schism, in our most ancient of histories. Me and two compatriots had, in recent years, discovered a unique series of... a trail, if you will, leading to some secret texts that have led us, unfortunately, in the crosshairs of some of the more dangerous and powerful entities in Vasselheim. So, yes, I do believe these Judicators are here because of us, looking for us.
Where are we?
Oh, looks over back towards the halfling.
We are currently in the abode of a compatriot of ours who has been extremely helpful and an ally to the Grim Verity for some time.
And you all kind of watch as he kind of points past you, and as you all emerged and are looking towards them, you kind of glance over your shoulder, and you kind of, in your fear and intensity, didn't take a moment to focus and notice there was a third figure in the room behind you. A female tiefling. Looks to be in older 50s, like a deep, deep ruby red skin color, with this kind of white, almost sky blue piercing eyes with just a single black pupil dot in each. These horns that curl back and up, and almost like these two large pointed horns about that size to the back of the head, and very, very short black hair that's cut just to the base of the skull with these gray streaks that kind of comb down in two parts. She stands there in what looks to be a combination of robes and some leather armor, and is just holding a particularly crooked-looking wand in your direction. Indeed, you have come to my abode, uninvited, but seem to have some sort of business with some of my friends, so consider yourself at the moment not burned to a crisp.
Apologies for the intrusion.
Accepted so far. I'm Rin. Who are you, and why are you here?
We're Bell's Hells.
Right.
Came to find Professor Kai, and we've been on a search of sorts as well, following a trail much like you and your friends have, that has led us to some real spooky stuff about the moon.
We kind of exchange some glances. I do apologize if I don't seem extremely eager and gracious at the sudden arrival of individuals that are unfamiliar, yet band about with bits of information that would easily get them and us killed.
What's their name?
Oh.
Do they have a name?
This is Niles.
Niles!
Niles will destroy you if you make any fast movements.
We're outside the city now.
Oh, yeah, we're in the elemental plane of fire. My apologies. I should have been specific here.
We've had quite a few encounters with Rudis and those who affiliate with it. And this goes all the way back to Balan and Zahar Loomis, the Loomis twins. And following the trail that they left behind.
We know they're not the only ones, too. Anyone poking around too much. The subject of Ruidus.
And why are you poking around?
Several reasons, actually, but we've recently discovered that I was Ruidus born, and my mother was very much affected, as am I. And recently, more and more powers have been emerging, and more and more dreams have been happening, and I know this all sounds...
Is she an exalted?
I don't know what that is.
Dr. Barron kind of steps forward.
In our research, there have been certain Ruidus born who exhibit a particularly strong connection to the entity in the sky, and begin to, well, as you describe, exhibit certain capabilities, if I believe so.
I show them my arms.
Levinold steps forward and...
This is very much like some of the others, yes.
Liliana Temold.
So you kind of like now, more than ever, like taking in your features and just like...
I assume you are her daughter. This makes a lot more sense now. Me and my compatriots here in the city have been helming the development of the Omen Archive for quite some time. This is where we encountered Liliana and others of the same like over the years on our research. However, Rin, Planerider, Rin actually is my full title here. I've seen quite many strange things, but what they're talking about is quite strange, quite fascinating, but quite strange. Well, we have been compatriots for some time, and Rin has become more or less a member of the Grim Verity out of necessity in recent years, as our interests have overlapped. Dr. Barron, however, and leans back and Dr. Barron goes, me and my compatriots, this, pertaining to Ruidus, we have uncovered some upsetting inconsistencies in historical presentation.
What brought you to this all, Planerider, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, my research generally focuses around all things odd and astronomical, interplanar, oddness, inconsistencies in the way that different realities align, overlap, tear into each other, pull apart. And even just beyond the outer boundaries of Exandria and beyond, it's kind of where some of us met in our various astronomical aspirations and philosophical debates. Anyway, I've discovered some strange inconsistencies in the way that the energies have been moving, the ley lines, the magical powers that guide the patterns of energies across Exandria and through the different realms that overlap. And this movement seemed to be incorporating with bursts of energy that over time the patterns seemed to coincide with these recurring flares of the moon and Rodrigues. Also, it found some strange abnormalities between the realms in proximity to Exandria. The Fey realm being one, and the Shadowfell, the other.
What's that?
There are forces at work here that are delving into the coming apex of these powers, these energies. To what specific means, we only have our thoughts and possible ideas.
You read the texts that you stole?
Yes, we've all studied them extensively.
Did they say anything about a city
Nothing about a city.
on Ruidus?
No.
Oh.
So within these tomes, some of the oldest that exist on Exandria, if not the oldest, books on record. First off, they speak of two deities that have been forgotten by history, that existed in the pantheon of the Endless Shadow. And Voldo, the Fate Shaper. Ethodoc was the god of darkness and winter, and Voldo was the god of fate and order. Now, that was already disconcerting enough. But this historical text also gave proof that Ruidus didn't exist for a time. And it's not that it didn't just not exist, but it was created by the gods. And the texts speak of an era during the founding where the gods showed fear. Something from beyond the stars that they recognized arrived here. And they called it Predathos.
Predathos.
This Predathos resisted their miracles and hunted them, spawning its own twisted life in its wake as it did.
Wait, Predathos was one entity or was it several?
As far as the texts go, I have no confirmation. But it is said that it devoured Ethodoc. And then Voldo.
Oh.
It's a god eater?
The texts then speak of an accord between the gods and the primordial titans to carve a prison from Exandria itself, to seal away Predathos and send it away into the endless darkness above. It seems the prison, however, clung to our world and hung in the sky. There's a new moon. Our theory is that in attempting to erase this known history surrounding this prison with an air of superstition and cursed tidings, it would dodge enough interest to ever really become a danger again. And that has worked for eons to their credit. However, I would be inclined to let this sit, if it means the safety of all, if it went for this growing rise in Ruidus flare activity that they've been studying. It leads me to believe that something is about to happen. Attempts to bring this to the attention of the High Bearers and the top clerics and priests, whatever they call themselves, have been met with extreme prejudice, denial, and now moves to silence us. They fear what we know almost as much as they fear losing the faith of their followers, their societies. So, this is what we know, and this is what you now know as well.
What all do you know about Thule?
What I do understand is that they were once an extremely pious entity. When they were at the height of their time as a soldier, they continuously spoke as they walked in the path of the matron, the dusk maven. And when the war finished, from what we've come to try and learn, it seems she may have lost her faith. They're all gathering, the Rue d'Espagne. Many don't know why, but they spend their life savings to charter ships. They're all coming here. They've been for months. We can only assume with this recent information that was been acquired that there is something, this Predathos is creating angers to this world in forms of you.
So my powers come from that entity.
We have no confirmation 100%, but we have long theorized whatever is behind the Moonaville Omen is also behind these latent capabilities that you and Liliana and Rotahan exhibit. While not every Rue d'Espagne does become exultant, those that do have seemingly been drawn to this place, this valley to the north.
Do you know where my mother is?
I assume she's there. She was an incredible subject when we were creating and forming the archive. She was our first true studyable example of an exultant. We were able to conduct so many experiments with her. She was a forthright volunteer. She grew frustrated with our inability to give the answers she sought. And Wotan found her, as did the assembly. And I think her personal need for answers overrode her judgment. I'm sorry.
It's making more sense now. I blew out a city by myself. A block decimated.
Intentionally?
No.
See, that is what makes it dangerous.
No, I fully understand that. They've got an entire army of that.
Well, the good news is what you're capable of is extremely rare. Do not think they have an army.
You also said that a piece of Exandria was taken and used to make this prison up there?
That's the city.
The texts are extremely early and do not go into detail. The best that we've surmised is that perhaps there was a continent that no longer is, that is now what makes up the moon.
Holy shit.
To be entirely honest, the idea of a city is new information to us. But there are some notes here that say that as Predathos went about its hunting, that it left some forms of twisted life in its wake.
Perhaps it's continued to do so within its prison. So, the site in the north of Eos, it's kind of been an interesting point in my research. To no one surprise, it happens to overlap with an excavation research site that was commandeered by the Cerberus Assembly not but 3 months ago. From what I could gather, it was a focus site for a solstice many, many, many centuries ago. Which helps my theory that ley lines actually shift over eons in a slow but cyclical pattern, meaning as they move, it's not randomized. There is an actual cycle to how these things move. Very slow. Very expanded period of time. I mean, it was constructed to be like a lightning rod of sorts, like a once before when it was a nexus as well. It could be a channeling point for this solstice energy. It seems to have ties to the long dead pre-Arcanum Tishtan culture, which is not much known about them. They were once kind of a nomadic, magic-obsessed society that traveled across Exandria during the time of the Schism, building small monuments and ritual sites for purposes that we're still trying to figure out. Not a whole lot of information about them, but it's really interesting. They mysteriously vanished with a little record kept, and I mean, why wouldn't you want to study that? That's great. That's what puts you in school. That's what puts you through school. The only one of us that's still currently working there is kind of takes a moment to think over it and kind of glance over who.
Kadisha Stumont.
Indeed. One of our other Omen Archive compatriots. The rest of us decided to go into hiding for our own safety.
And we don't have an army.
No.
We're just Bell's Hells plus you and some other professors.
If we have a number of small groups going in individually, that gives us opportunities to distract from each other. That gives us opportunities to infiltrate, maybe. To try and get in unseen, unnoticed, in a full-on assault, especially with the assembly possibly at the core of this. I fear that will end very poorly.
Yeah, plus we have somebody on the inside we can take advantage of.
Who? My mom.
When you talk about these infiltrations, do you mean Fey Realm and Shadowfell to where these machines are? Because we can't fight an army, we can't. But we can maybe sabotage whatever those are.
They definitely have some unique planar projector or tether aspect to it I can't quite point out. I don't know if they're trying to punch through the realms, trying to fold them together, or if they're trying to, like you said, pull it down, destroy it, break it open. It could be all sorts of things. It's the kind of thing that, well, if we had somebody on the inside or somebody we could interrogate properly, we could pull from within, that would be some fine information to have, don't you think?
It would, and I think we know that the Unseelie Court is in the Fey Realm, and they're all twisted up in one of those machines. The Cerberus Assembly is fucking around in our realm, but the Shadowfell... Do you know who's messing about in that place?
Not a whole lot of organized social contracts to be written in the Shadowfell. Best that I can tell is that the Assembly has built a little more... You watch as she smiles a bit. Ramshackle, less well-guarded portion of their plan.
We know they're going to do something soon. We know that it's going to be big, and we know that's going to be bad. This was personal before, but we got to figure it out now.
We gotta get there.
Starting with this dimension?
Well,
The ramshackled one?
if the Cerberus Assembly, just my take, if they have their hands on 2 of the 3 machines, and if you want to push on your mom, that might help us get to the Shadowfell or attack at least one point of the 3, weaken one of the 3 legs. In this realm, I think those odds are a little more against us.
What about the Pharaoh?
I mean, we could always ask my Nana, my grandmother, who's not my grandmother. I don't know. She's my grandmother. She raised me. I love her. I think we could probably ask her for some help. Her name's Maury, and she kind of deals with fate a little bit. I think they call her the Fate Stitcher, something like that.
The Fate Stitcher? You've heard of the Fate Stitcher?
Indeed. I've heard of. She's a guardian of one of the Fanes on that side of the Fey realm.
What's a Fane?
A Fane is a place of power. There are many hearts to the land. She's a keeper of one of them.
I'm suddenly remembering. The Nightmare King has that crown
Yeah.
that they took, that your parents stole from the device, and now he's roaming around with it.
Yeah, he's gonna put it on.
So I'm guessing they're using just like powerful artifacts of some sort, right? Am I wrong?
Rin's kind of leaning forward, thinking for a minute. So you were saying that this Nightmare King
is
working with the Assembly.
Well, he's been working with everybody.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to
Yeah,
me.
his
What
alliances
is
keep
he
changing.
on?
I don't know.
That's chaos. That might work in our favor.
Oh, you mean like he could be our inside man?
Maybe.
He seemed to.
But what
He
is-
seemed to like me, in particular.
So we have options. We can go try to make inroads into whoever's in this army in the Hellcatch, or we can take a detour and go to the Fey Realm. How much time do we have before Abridged Solstice? Like 10 days now?
Yeah.
12 days?
Roughly about 2 weeks.
What if we went to the Fey Realm? But if we tried to sabotage the device that they're doing up there, maybe we wouldn't even need to succeed. We could just try to mess with it and lure someone. Like if they send out a distress call or something, maybe they'd send up some folks from this plane to investigate, and we nab that person and be like, "Hey, you work for us now, mister," and then send them back down. I don't know. That's a thing, maybe.
I mean, I think you have to kind of look at it as Maury's super powerful, and the Unseelie Court wouldn't fuck with her or go near that place. If she is willing to help us at least disable that supporting machine in the Fey realm, it weakens the overall structure apparatus.
Mm-hmm.
If that even draws attention away or buys us any time before the Abridged Solstice, then we could try your mom in this realm. But I feel like more power, and she likes you, right?
I love her, and I know that she loves me. Whether
She would do us a favor.
I think she absolutely would, and
No
I think
strings attached. Planerider Rin, what sort of person or powers would we need to ensure that the time jumping would?
Feels like Maury.
Well, there are two main possibilities. One, being granted exit via Archfey, or two, have an individual of significant enough power and personal life force tether to the realm to also facilitate your exit. The Fate Stitcher may be capable of such a thing.
Okay. We could ask also, can't you send messages, Imogen, to the Fate Stitcher?
Oh, gosh. I could. It's possible it won't go through. But I can try. I don't know her personally, but...
oh, she's the best. Just say, she always calls me her little bear cub.
Okay.
So just say it's your little ferny bear cub, and
Just describe to me what she looks like exactly, And her name is Maury. Granny Maury.
Granny Maury.
Morgan.
Yeah.
The Fate Stitcher.
She's very tall. Very tall. She looks like, like any old grandmother.
Great. I'm picturing like white hair, glasses under like a little bonnet. Okay, I'm gonna try to send a message to see if it works. Who knows? Hello, Fate Stitcher. Here with Fernie Bear Cub Banana. She wants to come visit. Desperately. On a time crunch. Can you get us back? Without the wibble wobbles.
Oh. Well, it's nice to hear you. Whoever you are. Please tell my little bear banana baby to come visit. I can help.
Did you hear her?
Oh, I heard her.
Oh, she's just...
She sounds so warm.
Oh, I miss her so bad. I miss her so bad.
She said she wants to come help. She wants you to come visit. She can help.
Well, that's good. That's positive. That's one avenue open. Is there anything else in EOS that we needed to do, or just find these fine folks?
Need to pick up Ashton.
Yeah, we gotta go back to EOS.
Yes.
There's a lot of terrible things coming to Exandria in the next few weeks. Not just this, not just what we're dealing with. This is a historical challenge worldwide for many different interests, good, bad, and in between. And while I've tried to keep an eye on a few, this seems to be at least my lot to focus on this round. So, it's brought us together. We'll see who else we can bring together as well to help. But this is dangerous. It is likely some of us won't make it through. Kind of looking over at the doctor and professor, looking across your droop here. Just know that where we step, sacrifices will happen. And we have to keep our eyes on the prize.
Is the place you would send us back the basement or anywhere?
I think the basement's okay for us.
Well, bells, elves. Let's make things weird. As they go ahead and carve this circle space in the air, you center this one slab of somewhat smoothed over kind of porous volcanic rock begins to glow as a circle appears in the space. You will step back into the chamber, returning back to the basement from where you had previously absconded to this odd pocket plane.
Lights as soon as we come through.
You light the darkened space beneath the subterranean basement.
Run out the basement, run up the stairs, and just check, make sure nobody's in the house.
Okay. So just as you're halfway up the stairs, you hear
Oh, shit.
a heavy breaking and splintering of wood.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Can I shut the false wall to the stairs?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Trapped in
That's
here.
right.
We're trapped. They're gonna find us if we're trapped.
That's okay.
What the fuck are we gonna do?
You hear an odd voice, one you've never heard before, go.
And you're sure you had them here? Smell them.
Smell them. Fuck.
And find them.
And that's where we'll end tonight's
Oh, no!